Hello, good evening, and welcome to Real Estate with Bimpe. I am Bimpe Ariola. I'm the real estate consultant who is here with you twice a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays, discussing everything real estate. Today, we're going to be continuing in our series where we have been discussing relevant documents in real estate buying and selling, in real estate transactions. And today we are going to be discussing another real estate document, another document that comes up very often in real estate transactions, especially in recent years of acquisitions and excisions. And the real estate document we're going to be talking about today is the Gazette. What is a Gazette in real estate transactions? Now the question is this: is Gazette a title in real estate transactions? Remember that we said title is the bundle of rights any entity has in real estate transactions. Bundle of rights, totality of those rights. Those are the things we find in as title documents in real estate transactions. So the question is this: is a Gazette, does it carry any kind of title, any kind of right? Does it entitle anybody to do anything in real estate transactions? So let me tell you a short story. So this story will give you perspective into how a Gazette comes about. So assuming the government wants to build, say, a maternity center in a new developing area, there are criteria that must be met when establishing a place as a developing area, when building estates, when opening up areas. There are things that must be there. There must be playstations. There must be at least a primary health care center. There should be a playground for children. There should be a central place for sewage and things like that. They should be statutorily provided in developing areas where settlements were not before. So assuming that government wants to expand into an area and they want to open up the place for development, and they say, okay, in this area we need to locate a health center. Now, the land in that place, ordinarily, if government says they want to expand into an area, that they want it to become a living area for people, one of the social amenities they'll provide is a health center. So assuming they say, okay, this area, we want to open it up, we want to build a health center. Now remember that according to the Land Use Act, radical title goes to the governor, but there were people who were traditional owners in the regions. So the government will go to the traditional owners in the region and give them notice. There is a way to give notice of acquisition. Government wants to take over their land. Health center is overriding public interest, right? So government will go to them and say, okay, we need your land. We want to build something for public interest on it. Government can say acquire, say, 3 kilometers. Listen to me clearly. Listen to me closely. Government will acquire 3 square kilometers in the area. They will measure it in hectares. Government usually measures their property, their land, in hectares. So, but for our purposes, I will use kilometers. Government will measure 3 kilometers. Now, in those 3 kilometers it has taken, I have given them notice that it has taken 3 kilometers. It will now go back to its town planners, its builders, its architects. It will now build a health center that will sit on about, say, 1 kilometer. Right? They will design structures for 1 kilometer. They will go and start building. They will go and start, implementing what they want to do on 1 kilometer. All these ones, 2, 3, 4, 5 years is going. When they are done building on, see about that 1 kilometer, right? They may not finish building that 1 kilometer, but at least they've designed something. They have plans on ground for 1 kilometer. They will now say, okay, we've built what we want to build. After they built, and projecting for the future, they will say, okay, we might need another like half kilometer to this one. It's a health center. They built on 1 square kilometer. They will fence in 1.5 square kilometers. They acquire 3. They will fence in 1.5 square kilometers. Then the place will begin to develop. People begin to move there. They'll begin to recruit for the health center. The health center will begin to function. But then all the compound around them within their premises might still be bush. The space outside that 1.5 kilometers that they acquired might still be bush. But they fenced in what they need. Do you understand? So at that point, landowners will then go to government and say, government, how far? You said you wanted to build something. You have built what you want to build. How far with our remaining 1.5 kilometers? We want to sell it, now is our land. You understand? They will now go through the process of asking the government to release the remaining 1.5 kilometers that was not used. You see, that process of securing that release is what is called excision. So the 1.5 kilometers that was not used will be excised out of what government acquired. So government still has property in that space, but what government did not use is now going to be released back to the community for sale. Now, the process of releasing that expanse of land back is what is called excision in progress. So when people tell you title document, excision in progress, it means they have gone back to the government to say, government, you are not using this land. This is what you have done. There's still so much left. Release the rest to us. That process is called excision in progress. So what is excision in progress? It is the process by which acquisition land is released to the family from whom it was acquired many years before. Excision in progress does not mean government has released the land. Does not mean government has agreed to release all the land to you. Does not even mean government will agree to release the land to you. You might ask for 30 hectares. At the end of the day, government will agree to only release 15. You might ask for 30. At the end of the day, they can tell you they are still working on some things for that area. They can't release land to you for another 10 years. So you see that excision in progress that has file number, it can be there for the next 25 years. And the generation of people that are selling now will be dead by the time the result of that excision in progress comes out. And in that space, government may have come back, because as long as the land is not released, it's not released, it's still acquisition land. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when people come to you with excision in progress, come and buy, understand the risks involved. However, excision in progress land is usually cheaper than when it has been gazetted. So if it's a risk you want to take, is your call, because it will be cheaper. Once that land is actually gazetted, the price literally doubles. It literally doubles. But if you are willing to take the risk with them and stay with them while they are processing, then you can go ahead. Because once you buy, you can't take over that processing, because the Gazette, if and when released, will still be released in the name of the family. It will never be released in your name as the buyer. Do you understand? It will still be released in their name. So your own government title will still have to be processed after their own Gazette has been released. So the document that government will release at the end of the day, showing the quantity of land that it has made available back to the family, is called a Gazette. Is Gazette a government title? It is, to the extent that it contains the name of the families, the coordinates of the location it is releasing, the size is by coordinates. It contains their beacon numbers. It contains the families whose lands it is releasing. It gives full details of what it releases, and it releases freehold. Don't forget, it gives them back freehold, absolute. It's not even 99 years that is in that Gazette. Do you understand? That's the weight that comes with Gazette. It is a somewhat of a flimsy document, but it carries a lot of weight. It's very light. Just a few pages. It's very short. It's written black and white. You will see Gazette boldly posted on it, and it carries the government stamp. You can conduct a search, because it's usually in their records. You can conduct a search to find a Gazette, to see the original that is on the records of the government, because there are fake copies of Gazette that have been produced to sell property all over the place. So a Gazette actually is some kind of government title. However, here's what you usually will not take note of, right? So government releases land by coordinates. I've explained what coordinates are. If you want to understand how coordinates are relevant, go and see the video I did on survey plans. Now, the coordinates determine where government released the land to. Do you understand? Usually by this time, that place is very bushy. It's bushy back, not much is happening there. But Omonile being what they are, they will sell the one that government released. They will not say that the one government didn't release is still free, and the process of selling is very sweet, money is coming in. They will now begin to use that same Gazette to sell the one that government didn't release. Do you understand? So government has released a portion. They are free to sell, free to build, free to collaborate with a developer. When they are done with the one government released, and government has still not used the one it didn't release, but the process of selling and making money is sweet, they will now begin to use that same Gazette to sell the one government didn't release. Here's the confusion. You will see the same parties, the same family names, you will see the same location, you will see the date, you will see that it correlates with the place where you stand. The difference you might never know is that that coordinate where you are standing on is not the same coordinate as the one in that Gazette. The only way to find out that information is to bring a surveyor to that location and take the coordinates of that location and go back and go and chart it. That is the only way to find out. That is how come when you tell me property has Gazette, it seems like I'm doing over syllabus, but well, I'm protecting your interests. I will still take a surveyor back to that place because these are things we've seen over the years, and it's not just in Lagos. Please, those of you outside Lagos, this thing is not just in Lagos. The first time I saw it, I didn't see it in Lagos. Before I came to see it in Lagos. That land, we will bring a surveyor to it. He will take the coordinates of the one you want him to buy. And then he will take it back to the Bureau of Lands and Survey and go and chart it and tell us the result of the charting. It is the outcome of that surveyor's search that will let us know if the portion they actually want that person to buy is actually within the portion of what was released in that Gazette. And if that portion is part of what was released, then you can go into negotiations and discussions with the family. If there's an excision that is in progress, an excision could also be in progress, and that document that they're using to process the excision does not cover where you stand. Do you understand? One family might be processing excision in progress in their own name, another family is trying to sell. It gets very, very complicated, very messy. Just do your due diligence very well. Whatever anybody tells you, if it has any relations with the government, go and conduct your search. If it doesn't have any relations with the government, go back into the family, into the community to go and conduct your own due diligence and do a very good job in your interest and in the interest of your client. Now, please note that because things happen, you see, so if there's a Gazette, find out the status of the Gazette. Has the Gazette been revoked? Because there are Gazettes that are revoked. Yes, I saw that. Where a government released, one administration released, the next administration came back to come and query the release, and the property went to court. That's why you need to actually talk to people who know much about that transaction. If the property has gone back to court, it's not to say you will not buy. I always say it's not to say you will not buy. You just need to know the status of what you are buying. You are better informed. You are better positioned to know how to negotiate what to do after you buy. If the Gazette is valid, is authentic, and you want to proceed, then the family is going to issue to you a deed of assignment. That's what you are going to get on their own Gazette. You don't collect their Gazette as your document of title. In any case, they are not going to sell all the land to you. You will collect a deed of assignment that will rest on that Gazette that the family has. And that now becomes your own title that you can now go and register with the government. Now, the process of getting a Gazette, the process of getting the government to release land they have taken via a Gazette can take upward of 10 to 25 years. It's not a short process, it's very complex. You need involvement of certain kinds of people, let me just say it like that, to help you get that document released. A Gazette is not a standalone document, because we have also seen scenarios where there's a Gazette, but in the file where that Gazette is, all you see is the application for excision and the Gazette. There are so many documents in that middle position that if those documents are not in that file, that Gazette is not authentic. It can be contested and declared invalid sometime in the future. The same goes for C of O. A C of O is not a standalone document. You are going to have a lot of documents in that file. If the essential documents to back it up are not there, it is invalid. The same with a Gazette. If the other documents that are relevant to support that transaction are not in that file, that Gazette is invalid. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are the major things that you will not hear, that you will not find out, that you will not be told. You will just hear the property has a Gazette, the land has a Gazette. Please do your due diligence properly and ensure that you are safe as much as possible in your transactions. I always say investigate properly so you can mitigate your risks. Investigate properly so you can mitigate your risks. Thank you for watching. I hope you got some value. Don't forget to like this video if you got some value for it, and comment asking me whatever questions you have, whatever comments you have. I'll be glad to reply them. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Oh, we're on the move and we are making progress. We are dishing value here and people are taking steps, and those steps are yielding fantastic results. Don't be left out. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video goes live. And if you actually think you had a conversation with somebody on Gazette and the person was saying some things, you want them to hear what was said in this video, you may not be able to explain it totally yourself. Just share the video with them. Share with your husband, share with your wife, share with your colleagues, share with your investing partners, so you all are on the same page, you all have the same questions to ask, and you all can take decisions based on the same mindset. Real estate transactions, as far as I'm concerned, they still remain the juiciest form of investment in the world at large, especially in Nigeria. Goodbye and take care.